Hello, welcome back to Court Reporter Confidential. Today with me is Vanessa Stanton, social media extraordinaire, and I'm so excited to get to talk with her. And so she's joining us remotely since we're not in the same state. But how are you, Vanessa? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing great, Regal. It's good to see you again.
Yes. It was very funny. We bumped into each other live for the very first time recently at a convention, and I think we were both fangirling out over each other. And I didn't think she would know who I was, and she's like, "You're Regal." So now I'm Regal forever. So you have quite the journey, and I wanted to hear all about it. So I understand you started in captioning. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I actually started as a freelance deposition reporter,
Oh, okay,
but that was a
cool.
long, long time ago.
Yeah. So you've been a reporter for how long?
Almost 19 years.
Okay, very similar to me. I think I'm at 21, very similar. So you started freelance depositions, and then what made you want to switch to captioning?
So I got a call from a local college that they were looking for a cart captioner just to cover a semester in college. And I thought, well, how hard can that be? You know, that might be fun. And so I did that. I did not write real time before that job. I know that's going to make a lot of people upset, but it was different 20 something years ago. And so my first time writing real time was on the job, providing cart
Wow.
captioning for a hard of hearing student in I think it was a computer networking class.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so it was a little challenging at first, but then I was like, this is so cool. And I really liked it. So I was doing that with deposition work. And it was
Uh-huh.
becoming hard to kind of switch back and forth because the two were so different that I got to a point where both were so busy and I needed to decide which one do I want to do because I can't keep doing both. And I
Okay.
had done the depositions. I liked the depositions, but I didn't like the transcript part. So I was like, cart captioning, no transcripts. I'm going to do that for a while and see how that goes. And so
Yes.
that was a 16-year career.
Okay. Wow. So you stayed in that a long time. So obviously you
Yeah.
liked it. What did you like
hmm
about it?
I liked the no transcript part.
Hmm.
I liked attending college classes, basically getting paid to learn random stuff. I've captioned so many different courses and degrees, and it's very rewarding to also feel like I'm a part of a student success because I'm giving them equal access in a classroom. And there were times where a teacher would be like, this is off the record, or strike that. And I'm like, we're not in court, and I'm here for equal access. So I was like, if you say it, I'm writing it. Like, I don't know
Oh,
what to tell you.
right. That's cool though. That would be very rewarding to know
Yeah.
that you're not just helping someone win a multi-million dollar case. You're actually helping someone learn and better themselves. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Absolutely.
And then after captioning, is that when you made this most recent jump or was there something in between?
Well, for a little bit, I did broadcast captioning,
Okay.
maybe for like 2 years or so,
Okay.
just to see what that was like because I was doing cart captioning. And so I thought, well, broadcast captioning is the same thing, which it's not at all. But, I didn't know that. So, so I gave that a try. And it was really funny because they had me do like an assessment for them.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, so you're 99% accurate, so you can start tomorrow. And I was like, no, 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 no.
Oh,
Like, I'm not ready to start tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like,
wow.
no, it's fine. You just have to, write the words. So they like threw me into my first newscast, which the encoder kept disconnecting me like over and over again for the whole newscast. And it was like, I was proud that I showed up the next day.
Oh, no kidding. So when they disconnect you, I don't even know what that means. When they disconnect you, you have to, I
Like,
mean, you're dropping. Yeah, tell me why that's difficult.
yeah. So they have you use an analog telephone line to call into their encoder, and that connects you so that when you write on your machine and it goes to your software, it then goes through that analog line, hits their news station, and goes out onto the air. And if you
Wow.
keep getting disconnected from that, then there's nothing going out.
Oh.
And I
So then
had
it
like,
makes you look bad,
yes,
basically.
exactly. And
Okay.
it's usually the encoder because it's such an old technology that needs to be reset, but it takes time to reset that. And that was my first day, so I didn't know all of these troubleshooting hacks, you know.
Mm,
But I'm sure everybody listening has been thrown out in a sink or swim type situation, and it's just really common. So,
yeah, yeah. But you almost just have to at some point.
hmm,
You have to
yeah.
prepare and prepare. And, there are two types of people in the world, I'm convinced. There's the jump in and figure it out people, and you don't have so much overwhelming stress about that. And then there's the, no, I have to ask every question, know every answer. But at some point, you still have to jump. So
Hmm.
it is tricky.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so you did broadcast captioning, and then now you are doing what? I've heard about it on your
Oh,
social
yes.
media, but so cool.
N- Now I'm an official court reporter. So
Why
I
not?
might as well, you know.
I love it. I love hearing your fresh perspective. Isn't it fun
Yeah.
though, doing something new when you've done the same thing for so long, and then you think, okay, well, let's try something new, and you feel like a brand new reporter all over again, and you're nervous, and you're like, and it gives you great perspective for those who are new. It reminds you that I don't know. What has your experience
Yeah.
been? That's been
No,
mine.
it's great. I feel brand new because my 19 years of experience has nothing to do with this. Yes, I can write the words, but I don't know what to do after that and with all the process and the procedures and the formatting of the transcripts and that sort of thing. And so I'm just learning as I'm going, and it's really refreshing to have no idea what I'm doing.
Ah, I love that you embrace that and you're like, no, it is what it
I
is.
have this courthouse is amazing. There are a lot of court reporters, so I have a lot of resources at my
Good.
fingertips, which I feel really fortunate about. And I have a judge and a judicial assistant that really have my back in the courtroom, which makes my job so much easier.
That's
So,
amazing. So you went straight into your own courtroom. You didn't have to float too much, huh?
no, this was, well, I can go into how it happened if you want, because
Sure.
it was not my intention to ever work in court,
Oh
but here
yes,
I
and I
am.
think yeah, and I think you said on your video that you were just
Yes.
trying it temporarily, and then they asked you, and you were like, "All right." Did I
Yeah, I
summarize
just
that right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I have a friend that works at this courthouse as a court reporter, and I was like, "Hey, are you still working in court?" And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Can I come sit out with you for a day? That would be so fun." I've never worked in court. Like, I could sit out with you, we could catch up, we could spend the day together. Like, it would be so fun.
And now
And so
you're
I went,
coworkers.
yes, I went and I sat out with her and it was fun, but I was like, I don't think this is for me. And then she had messaged me and said, oh, well, there's a newer judge that came on that doesn't have a court reporter yet because we've had court reporters retire. And, he got approval to have you come sit in his courtroom for a week. And I was like, oh, a week is fine. Like, I can commit to a week, you know.
Gotcha.
And here we are. So
Here we are. And
here
you're
we
loving
are.
it.
I'm
You're lo-
loving it. I'm loving it. My first day on the job, 1 hour into it, I got asked to read back. And that was terrifying because the last time I did read back, I had paper steno notes on a manual
Wow.
machine. So it was like it gave you like a minute to compose yourself looking for it. And
Mm.
now it's not like that anymore because it's right there. It's instant.
But at least it's in
It's right there on the
English and not
screen.
steno.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
And
So I
yours is
got
probably
that
so
out of the way.
clean.
I was lucky. I was flustered, so I probably read back like a few paragraphs instead of just the last question. And at the end of the day, the judge was like, "So, when I ask you to read back the last question, you only have to read back the last question." And I was like, "Okay."
You're like, I'm sorry.
So I was so proud. Like the next day when I got asked to read back, it was just the question, and I was like, you know,
Giving him a winky. Yeah.
got it.
I'm coachable. See, I'm
Yes,
coachable.
yes.
So, what skills from captioning have been helpful to you as an official? I mean, I can guess,
um,
but I want you to say.
I would say the real time. Writing real time for so long and being a clean writer for so long. I only write real time for my judge, and not an entire room full of people, which is different. It's just one person. But having the clean writing has made transcripts so easy for me.
Yeah.
Because I can compare. back when I was a brand new reporter, a year or two into it, and what it took me to get those transcripts edited, and it's a completely different
Right.
situation now. And so I got very excited because I have a friend that's a court reporter that's proofreading my transcripts right now for me because she wants to make sure everything is perfect, which I'm like, okay.
Perfect.
And she sent me back like the first transcript, and the like I almost cried because there was like nothing really wrong. So I
Wow.
was like, are you kidding me? It was just like formatting things that I don't know, like when an exhibit is admitted, you do a parenthetical, just stuff that I don't know because I've never worked in court before. It was just stuff like that. And then like punctuation, I like to use a lot of commas. So I'm going to have to
Mm.
contain myself. But, I was like, really? That's okay. I can work with that. So,
Truly. That's wonderful. So that whole, that was the benefit of you doing captioning, right? You didn't have the transcripts because you're probably thinking back to how awful it was and how long it took you in the
mhm.
beginning. But
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, this is doable because
Yeah.
writing clean makes all the difference in the world.
It really does. It really does. And then I did have to get into the habit again of interrupting, which as a
Ah,
captioner, we don't do that. We're there for equal access. We're not making an official record. And so if they're going really fast, we're just holding on for dear life and just doing the best we can. It's not like that in court. You have to stop people.
yeah.
And so there are days that my judge and I spend the whole day reminding people to slow down. And it's just how it goes. And there's that understanding there that and for me, I like to have that in the record that this is how many times I tried to slow people down. I don't, there's nothing else I can do. So
Yeah.
if it's in the record, I feel okay, like I did everything that I could.
Right. Absolutely. And I love that your judge is supportive in that and also wants that for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which you would think most would be, but there are a few that just don't want to be interrupted and they are stodgy about it. But that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Either way, you want to protect yourself and put that in. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about social media. Okay, so I'm new to this game, and you have been
Okay.
around. I don't know how long you've been making videos, but I feel like one of the OG. But I didn't. Can I confess something to you? I
Hmm.
did not follow, or I didn't watch a lot of your videos before because they were so focused on tech. And I have such an
Oh,
aversion to tech and keyboards. I'm just like, I don't understand anything she's saying, but it sounds like she's passionate and so cool. But but now that you're talking about court reporting stuff, at least the ones I've seen, I'm like, oh, I can get on board with that. So I'm totally following and like listening to everything you're saying.
I've had so many people say that to me, like, "Oh, I loved your stuff, but now I'm very interested." And I'm like, "Well, okay."
But I want to tell you that I'm sure that you had a huge impact in recruiting people, like tech people. I don't know directly, but I really think that all those kids on Plover and fiddling with right keyboards and things, they're probably like, "Hey, I could do court reporting too." And who knows what an impact you've had? It's got to be big.
That would be amazing. That was well, my initial goal was I only had 11 followers on TikTok, so nobody was gonna ever see my stuff. And so that was my first goal. And then my goal changed to, well, if I could get people interested in at least trying it out, that would be okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, it's cool. Your passion, you get on and you're so excited, and it's so much fun to watch. Obviously, we've taken a different route with our goofy little videos and
it's so fun though. I mean, I have some too. I had the shark costume and did baby shark on my machine. I mean,
oh,
I've had fun
fun.
stuff too.
Yeah. Gotta
Or
keep it
cringy,
interesting.
whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, you got to have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. My kids definitely think I'm cringy, so that's
Oh,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm fulfilling that for them.
I'm told I'm cringy, but I'm cool cringy. So apparently there's different levels of
Oh,
cringe. I don't know.
okay. Well, that
So,
makes sense. How much feedback do you get from your followers and from your social media? Do you get a lot of comments, a lot of questions?
so that can get kind of interesting with TikTok. If you go on to the FYP, the For You page, you're out there for everybody. And so it's everybody, it's all ages. So I just assume when the hate starts coming in, it's a 12-year-old because it just makes it easier to deal with it that way. So I'm like, it's just a kid. But that's
Okay.
when like things get really interesting in the comment section is when it goes out. And those are when like it goes gets big. There's, hundreds of thousands of views. And then the comments come in, and that's where it comes in like, AI can do this. How are you so important? Why don't you use a regular keyboard? I can type faster than you on a regular keyboard.
Oh,
Why is this a thing with all the technology? You're going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by AI. Did you know you're going to be replaced by AI? You're going to be replaced by AI. In a year, you're going to be replaced by AI. So I just do my best to just educate as well as I can. There's people that get it, and there's people that don't, and I have no control over that. I just have control over what I put out there.
yeah.
So
Well, I love your perspective about just imagining them as a teenager who has no idea what they're doing. That's
yeah,
perfect. Because
absolutely.
honestly, they obviously don't know what they're doing if they're,
Yes.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I had one video where I picked a slower speed for a working reporter, let's say like 180.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, if you think you're so fast on a regular keyboard, keep up with this because 180 doesn't sound very fast if you're just listening to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, this is doable. And I asked people to duet me, which is where they take my video and then they make a video next to mine trying to do it on their regular keyboard. And it was hilarious because I'm like, that's only 180. I'm like, and you're thinking you can do it fast, and why don't we use the regular keyboard because it's so outdated? You can't even keep up, and it's only 180. And I'm like, nobody talks that slow. Like,
Well,
and
this,
so it was a really fun way to get people like to understand
mm, well, I
why
almost
we
said
don't
when
use
you,
the regular keyboard.
right. And when you made that comment about that was some of the feedback, I thought, well, that my first thought is challenge them, but then I thought, well, then you're just inciting hate. But I love that you did it in a very fun way. Like,
Yeah, it was well, people called it passive aggressive. There were all sorts
oh,
of ways that people called the video, but I thought sometimes you need to do stuff yourself for it to make sense. So I was like, if
totally.
people get on and do it themselves, whether or not they want to admit it, they're going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I always equate this to when I have to hire someone to make my website, okay? And they give me a quote of like $15,000 to make a website. And my jaw drops. I'm like, how hard is that? You put up a few pictures, you put some words, you put some text on a Word doc, right? And that's it. I mean, I have no clue what goes into this. There's all this back end coding and SEO and whatever. And that just shows I have no idea the value that they're bringing, right? And it's the same. Like people go, "Oh, why are you so expensive?" And I'm like, "Well, you don't realize how hard it is and how much time we have to put in the back end for these transcripts." So it is interesting. And until I tried to make a website, I wouldn't understand either. So that's good.
absolutely. I was going to say I have gone down that road on my own too, and I'm like, nope, somebody else should get paid for this.
Right. Okay, so you've
For an
tried.
expert. Yeah, I've done that too. And I'm like, no, it's not my thing. So there's too many widgets and coding, like you were saying. And
Yeah.
yeah, no. Nope,
No,
not my thing either.
I wouldn't have even attempted it, but good for you.
Yeah,
Give it the all
yeah,
American
yeah.
try.
I think my favorite part in the comments are all of the people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about or that I'm doing stuff wrong. Because, people on the internet, they are the experts. So, you know, they know. And so what I do is I take those comments and I post them on my Instagram where all of my court reporting friends are, and then we just laugh about it
There you go.
because, we understand. And so
It's therapy. It's
it's,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
your way
It's
of letting it roll. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, because this stuff you can't make up. So I'm like, I have to post this so people understand, like, it's a wild place over there.
Yeah. Out in the internet, the
Out on
ethers.
the internet, it's a wild place out there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Keyboard warriors, as we call them, right?
Yes, absolutely. 12-year-olds,
12-year-olds, yes. That's their education level. So let me ask you, just because, okay, well, how fast have you tested? Are you like an RPR? Like, because you're a clean writer, and as am I, but I'm not always the fastest. But I'm so curious, at what level did you get to? And then I want to talk briefs.
So I got to 225 in school,
Cool.
and my state, I think, is only like 200 words per minute.
Hmm.
And I don't have any NCRA certs.
Nice. But you did get to 225. I couldn't even, I was barely 200 when I got out of school.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
had to increase some afterwards to kind of be able to keep up with folks. So that was good that
Yeah.
you started off with that. Because, I did take a very stroke intensive therapy theory. I do need therapy as well, but theory. And so I didn't brief a ton, and I've had to learn how to do that later. So I am just a sponge when it comes to briefing. And I'm curious, how much do you brief, and what are your favorites?
My first question is, which theory are you using?
So I'm the Gonzalez Walsh
Okay.
something, but it's very close to Stened from what I understand. So,
Okay. I was just curious because I use Phoenix and I was always told it's very stroke intensive as well.
oh, okay.
And so it's a very phonetic. And so I don't use a lot of briefs.
Okay. So
So
even still.
even still, so I think I'm picking stuff up like preponderance of the evidence, like jury charges coming back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, stuff like that is coming back to me. But for the most part, I don't use all of the briefs that I used were in like heavy tech content, which I'm not
Right.
doing anymore. If I ever have a tech expert, like that will be my flex. But for now,
Ooh,
like I'm not using, I'm creating briefs as I'm going along
right.
for stuff that's coming up over and over and over again. But for now, I'm still writing a lot out.
Yeah. Yeah. What software are you on, if you don't mind
Case
me asking?
Catalyst.
Okay, cool. Because I believe Case and Eclipse both have sort of a brief suggestions, brief it, right? That pops up and helps you come up with something on the fly if you're
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah, I've started to use that as a captioner. We had to disable all of that stuff. And so
Really?
there's tons of things that I have forgotten about within my software that I'm becoming reacquainted with now.
Oh, well, good, because that is one of the
So,
best things that ever happened to cat software. That and the whole real team or
yeah,
connection magic is what it's
real
called.
team is really neat. I helped my court reporter friend. She was doing dailies and I jumped in there and helped her edit. And I was like,
Wow.
this is so cool. I was like, this is really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah.
In fact, I got to use Case Catalyst and Real Team last week. I was on a cool sports live press conference thing. And so, yeah, it was really neat that I'm watching her edit it and add things to our job dictionary, which was really cool because there's a million names and they're making nicknames for these folks. I put all their names in, but then they're calling them all kinds of other things. So and you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, what good is preponderance of the evidence in that situation? So you kind of
Yeah,
have to make briefs
absolutely.
based on your situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll come up with more as I get a little more settled. Every day I feel like I'm getting a little more settled
Yeah.
into my place.
Well,
But
that's a good point. You don't want to take on too much and change too much all at once.
yeah,
That's too much.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll
Absolutely.
just do like one new brief a day when I
Oh
just focus
yeah,
and
yeah.
listen for that one word or
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever heard of Ron Cook's mirror method?
I have because I usually attend his seminars whenever he's presenting somewhere that I'm at.
Have you ever tried to think if that would be for you? Because I took it on years ago and it is so cool. But it's only if it clicks in your brain because it's a whole different
Right.
thing.
I think I've tried to make it click and I go to his talk every time he gives it and it's still maybe next time it'll stick. So,
No, but it's like briefing, right? You have to, if it
yeah.
doesn't stick, then it's not for you. And that's
Right, right.
totally fine. It did create more conflicts for me
Oh, okay. Okay.
because some things over here is, I don't know, it's a phrase, but then it's also a separate word and it creates a little bit of a conflict. But because they're
Yeah.
so different, my AI can, or not AI, but whatever you call yeah, artificial intelligence, I believe, inside of the cat software. Um, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's a
No,
really neat,
totally get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let me ask you about the future of court reporting since you're very
Okay.
tech forward and having to I don't know, debunk a lot of these haters. What excites you the most about our industry and about the future of it?
So for me, it would be the little Steno keyboards that the little Plever community have created that have made learning stenography so much more accessible than trying to find an actual steno machine that we all know, even used, can be very expensive.
Yeah.
These little steno keyboards, you can get them as cheap as $50, and you can learn Plever for free, and the software is free, and so you can learn it putting in $50 or $100 in your time. And that gets me super excited. And I'm even more excited that NCRA has now made that an acceptable form for testing. And so you can take your little Steno keyboard and your Plever and you can test and get NCRA certified using that.
Really?
And I feel like that just got rid of a bunch of barriers for people entering our profession. And so I'm very excited and I hope that people take advantage of that.
That was the most exciting answer for me because I knew that they were making little practice keyboards, but I didn't realize that they could actually be used and tested with. The reason that I'm excited about these keyboards personally is because I'm a state leader for California, and somehow NCRA was like, oh, she'll be the one to be the contact for our A to Z program in case anybody needs a machine in California. So I'm happy to do that, but we only have a few, and you're right, they're hard to get our hands on. The few that people donated out of their basements or something, I mean, spider webs and ink spilled everywhere. I mean, they're just in terrible condition. And so it's kind of like, is it worth resurrecting? And then when I realize I can purchase these or just direct them to purchase something and it's affordable, that really does open the gate. That's cool.
Yeah, and I always say something whenever I'm at a seminar that talks about how they need more steno machines because I will never understand why we are sending potential students a 400 SRT or an 8000. Why are we sending dinosaur outdated technology? Some of these don't even connect to your computer anymore because they're so outdated. And I don't understand why. And I just ask why when there are these little keyboards for $50 or $100 and we can get those and we can give them to the students and give them Clever for free and have them learn and not be on a 400 SRT. I just don't understand with the new technology why we're so stuck on these really old machines because I don't see what the appeal would be for a younger person, to be honest, to get this 400 SRT that you can't do anything with. Like,
Yeah.
why pursue this career? You
Right.
know,
I would think the feeling would be different. No, with the $100
um,
keyboard is probably
it is different, but I still think it's better than a 400
mm,
because it's so old. Like, let's at least give them some new stuff. And there are people who have switched from, they call our machines lever machines.
oh
So there are
yes.
people that have switched from the steno keyboards to the lever machines when they're getting close to exit speeds. And as
Uh-huh.
far as I've heard, there haven't been any issues with that. But I
Oh,
just think it's a great place to start, is all I'm saying. Like A to Z, it's a great place to start with these little keyboards instead of sending these really old machines that don't do anything, that don't
and
work.
they weigh 1,000,000 pounds, so
They
to
do
ship
weigh a million
them
pounds.
is crazy. Yeah.
And I just think it would be more beneficial if A to Z students could see their steno on a computer and see what they're
Yeah.
actually doing and what they're pressing and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So, do you mentor students ever or new reporters? And if so, what words of wisdom do you normally give them? Let's share.
So I tried to be a mentor because I think it would be so much fun, but the problem was that most students are not captioners and there's that disconnect, and me only having 2 years of deposition work like decades ago, I can't help answer any of the questions. I can't give any advice on any of how transcripts are formatted, what to do in this situation, that situation. So I was actually not any help. And so I backed out of that spot and just decided like TikTok's my place. I'll just do TikTok and that will be how I help people because I'm like I
100%.
can't really, I mean, I can help if you're in speeds like, don't give up, don't compare yourself to others. We all learn at different speeds. If it takes you 4 years or it takes you 2 years, like you're still going to have a great job and a great career and a great pay. The time, don't focus on the time. It's not something you want to rush. You want to have a solid foundation of your theory and, that sort of thing. I can help in that aspect, but all the other stuff I can't. I couldn't, but now, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, so I still wouldn't be very helpful right now. So
Someday,
maybe
someday you will.
someday. Someday.
That's amazing. Well, let's see. Would you recommend students or new reporters go straight into captioning, or do you think they need experience in the legal world first?
So that's a great question. There is this misconception that you don't have to be that good at real time because you're just paraphrasing and it's okay if you drop words and you don't need to be verbatim because it's captioning and it's not an official record. And let me tell you that the people who rely on captioning know when you're a shitty captioner and they know when you're dropping tons of words and when you're crap. And it really does a disservice to the people that rely on the captioning. And so I just had to get that out there because I don't know why there's this misconception about that. But you need to be, I think the industry standard is 98.7% accurate, and that's raw. That's unedited because we can't edit. We can't go back and edit later. It is what it is when it goes out. So I like to think that you need to be more accurate than 98.7%, but I think that's a good starting point. And so in order to be there, we only are as good as our dictionaries. So you need to have a really good dictionary and you need to be watching your writing and you need to be entering words into your dictionary and building that because the better your dictionary is, the better your real time is. And so there are those people that come out of school and they're writing 99% accurate and they have an amazing dictionary. I mean, those people exist. So for those people, yes, come on out and be a captioner. Then there's people like me that didn't write real time and came out and just, I mean, I did okay, but I got lucky. I got lucky that I ended up being, good at it. But it needs to be verbatim. There are times where we do have to paraphrase because we cannot slow people down. So when they're, reading something at 300 words per minute, we're hanging on for dear life and doing the best that we can. So in
Right.
those situations, yes, but the rest of it it's unacceptable. It needs to be verbatim.
Yeah, and I don't know how you would ever be 99%. Like you said, there might be some unicorns out there, but because
Yeah.
dictionary building does take a long time. Like when I got out of school, I think I needed 18,000 words in my dictionary, and now that's a joke. I mean, now I'm 200,000 or 100 something thousand. I don't know. So it's just not possible to have your dictionary ready usually right when
Yeah.
you get out, and that's why I asked because I mean to be that good at real time and know your own writing already so
Hmm.
well,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's tricky. So
Yeah. I would worry because I wouldn't want, there's a chance that you get somebody that's never had captioning from a human before, and then you're that high speed student that has no business doing real time, but somebody wants to fill a spot and was like, no, go do this job. And it's not any fault of the high speed student because, I've been there before too. But it creates a really bad situation and a really bad reputation for cart captioners.
and quality is the name of the game, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. Tell us your handle again, your hashtag handle.
On Instagram, it's Miss underscore stenographer, and
Okay.
TikTok is Miss Steno or Hanty.
Yeah. And how did that come about, by the way, just for kicks?
Okay, so my niece, who is almost 19, when she was learning how to talk, she added an H to auntie and it just stuck. And I never corrected her because it was really cute. And
Oh.
then her sister did it, and then my nephew did it. And like, she's almost 19. They're all, older, and they still call me auntie, and I'll never correct them.
Oh
So,
no, absolutely not.
so,
I thought
and so
I thought maybe you came up with like hot auntie your name or
Oh,
something. I
that I
didn't
love
know.
that so much. That's so funny. And that was for my Musically account because I don't know if you ever used Musically,
No.
but my niece and I would make lip syncing dancing videos on there because that's what Musically was. And so that's why I had the 11 followers. They were her friends. and then it switched to TikTok, and then I made a Steno video, and then it got a lot of traction, and she went in and like locked down my account and like took videos out and made things private because she was so embarrassed. She was like taking her 11 followers off. She was like, nobody I know can see this.
That is
So
so
I
funny.
kept everything how she had it set up.
I see. That's cute. That's so cute. Well, thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us. I
I
feel
love your
honored.
content. Keep doing it.
Well,
So your
thank you.
content's great.
Thanks. I have a young hip social media person because otherwise I would never be able to know what's trending or anything like that. So I hope
It's
we
great. I enjoy it. It's a lighter side of the internet. So
yes.
I like
Gotta
it.
have that too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
for our followers, thank you for joining us again. And we hope you'll like and subscribe and see you on the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.